Welcome, this is Nathan, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're taking a look at a scenario where Portugal forms an empire. So, Portugal is one of the surprising countries in Europe I have not done. Other than that, you have Finland, Switzerland, and Netherlands, and I guess if you want to say, but I didn't mean to colour them in, Belgium. But to me, Portugal was a country who owned land. They were an empire in history. Same with Netherlands and Belgium. But I've never given them an empire. And I think it's about time that Portugal gets their empire. Now, I think the reason I haven't is because even buffing Portugal, I think they'd still struggle with expansion. And even get rid of NATO, to be honest. But today we're ignoring that and giving Portugal an empire. So, Portugal's first task as an empire is to figure out what to do. Because with Spain, they had the way into Africa. And they had Portugal, who they could invade to get navies to go outside. Well, they had Africa, really. That's what I'm trying to say, Spain did. Portugal does, but they have to go through Spain. And they could go to Morocco. So, Portugal's first target will be Spain. And I'm going to be using a darker blue, because I'm not using the same blue as the ocean. Now, if Portugal was buffed, I'm sure them versus Spain would be no problem. So, Portuguese troops exit out, and they may have or not have been funding rebels in Spain. They definitely have been. So, while Portugal's pushing in Madrid, we have Galicia. If I'm wrong there, you can correct me. We have Galicia breaking away. Catalonia will break away. And, well, yeah, this is more just because they're funding rebellions. And Madrid is captured and Spain crumbles like the Mongol Empire. So let's take a look at this peace treaty. So, just like that, Spain has been divided up into 3 new countries, and Portugal took a bunch of land. So we have Galicia, whatever this is, and Catalonia. And yes, Catalonia will own these islands. Now, with Portugal annexing a good chunk of Spain, their next target will be Ireland. I didn't mean to zoom in on Galicia, I was meant to zoom in on Ireland. Now, why exactly are they going after Ireland? Well, because going to Africa might not be the smartest of ideas, just because well, not Arab League, so that doesn't really exist. But a lot of these countries would not be in favour, because a lot of them are, how do I explain it? Islam. There we go. I'm sure there'll be a massive coalition formed against Portugal. And that would include some of the Middle East, which would probably literally just be Saudi Arabia and these two. But anyway, the next target will be Ireland. And I was thinking of making the British get involved, but I'm not going to. Now, Portugal's going to have a bit of a struggle here, because they need to deploy their navy from here. So, as an easier way to get to Ireland, they're just going to invade Galicia. So, we have them invading Galicia, and quicker than you can see in the blink of an eye, Galicia surrenders. They're a brand new country. But anyway, Portugal makes landing on Ireland and begins invading the country with rampaging speed. They link up, take Dublin, and after that, Ireland will fall over and surrender. So let's take a look at this peace treaty. And as you probably expected, Portugal both fully annexes Ireland and Galicia. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And would the UK be mad with Portugal being in Ireland? No, they wouldn't. In all reality, the British would be fine with this. If Portugal was in Ireland, the British would not give any care in the world. These two have got really good relations, and they still have the good relations. So they will sign a non-aggression pact with the UK saying, we won't invade you, you won't invade us. So, just like that, Portugal and the UK are basically, they were already allies, but they've kind of just confirmed it. Anyway, next up on Portugal's list, it's going to be Iceland. Now, as you can see here, they're focusing more on Europe and not Africa. So they're doing like island hopping, which makes sense if you think of it. So they make a landing on Iceland and immediately take Húsavík. Jesus Christ, capital name. And just like this, Iceland will surrender over, because Húsavík is kind of like their only populated city. I know it's probably not. But I don't even think I need to pause video to this feature. They fully annex Iceland. Now, invading Greenland would probably definitely get Denmark involved. So they're going to leave Greenland for now, even if they do. And instead, we have Portugal heading over to the New World. And where are they going to be taking in the New World? Well, it's going to be Venezuela. That's why you thought they were going to want to reclaim Brazil or Uruguay. No, Venezuela. This may or not be being supported by the USA. It definitely is. The USA is definitely funding Portugal to do this. But we have the landing made on Venezuela, and it's kind of obvious the USA's in this war. We have the capturing of Caracas and other major cities. And after losing most of the coast, Venezuela will surrender. Let's take a look at this piece, really. So as you can see, Portugal puppets all of Venezuela and will allow US to set up stuff here. Yes, this was definitely funded by the USA. It's kind of obvious. But Portugal will now begin their advance into Africa. That's right, they've been on it for a while, but they will now be going after Morocco. So, we have war being declared on Morocco, and immediately the Islam world is looking at Portugal with a disgusted face. Although the only one that doesn't care is Mr. Algeria, because they hate Morocco. Portugal began making landings on the coast of Morocco, and this is by far going to be their toughest challenge yet. Spain was only because they funded rebellions. They began pushing down the coast towards Rabat. I hope I pronounced that right. I don't exactly know where Rabat's located, but we'll say it's here. And they begin encircling Rabat. After a successful encircle, we have probably the, maybe not, most beautiful yet, I would say that was Madrid. But after this, they begin pushing into more populated lands of Morocco, wiping them out. But at this point, Algeria is going to get the second hand in, as they realise that if Portugal annexes all of Morocco, that's going to be something that you don't want, because then they're probably going to go down into Mauritania, and after that, go through here. Still, Algeria will join the war to make sure that does not happen, and Algeria will immediately cross over and cut Morocco in half. Mauritania will also join the side of them. That's the wrong colour. Mauritania will also join the side of Algeria, and you can kind of see that Morocco is surrounded by enemies. And they lose all Western Sahara in this chunk of land, and the rest of it will be taken by the Portuguese. And yeah, Rabat was captured. So let's take a look at this piece, treaty. So just like that, we have Morocco being divided. Mauritania took Western Sahara. Argentina. Algeria took this area by here. I need a different colour. They took this area by here, and well, the rest of Morocco went over to Portugal. Now, Algeria and Mauritania are gonna sign a pact, and other people join this will be Tunisia, Libya, and that will be it. So, yeah, that's what Portugal would have to fight if they want to continue into Africa. Obviously, they have the navy to just do that, but that's boring. Let's get on with the major war for this video. We have Portugal sent out on one of their final expansions, that being France. And this is to get a hold of Brittany and more coasts along the line of, here. Portugal will be allowed military access by Catalonia to invade France, but this is going to be their toughest war yet. So, troops begin to enter into France, and this is the most brutal war Portugal's had yet. I know mountains exist, I do not care. Otherwise, it would be a non-stop back and forth war. So, troops enter out, but France is immediately going to get mobilised to push us back, which they do. Portugal's navy from Ireland will make a landing in Brittany, which is the main area they want from this war. And because France was too focused down on the area where Catalonia is, this is going to be a really bad invasion on France. And even worse to France, another country just joined the war, that being the UK. And at this point, this war's going to get really, really, really ugly. As what is left of Spain will join the war on the side of France. And we also see Italy join the war on the side of France. And oh god, that is something you don't want to see. And even worse, this African defence organisation just declared war on Portugal. So yeah, this just escalated into a major war. And sadly for Portugal, this ain't gonna last long. As Algeria takes all Morocco without any issue and will now begin to advance into Spain. At this point, the USA is funding Portugal for this, but Spain, on the other hand, yeah, they didn't stand a chance, really. And honestly, Spain joining the war kind of just dealt bigger blow to France, as now more troops entering into their territory. And we may see, and the UK is now in France, as they're now making the landing across the French coast, but France will hold a stalemate up here, surprisingly, as Italian troops are now arriving. Portugal, seeing that there's now a stalemate, will now use some of their troops to attack back against, this major coalition forming against them. They'll kick out all the troops here and will re-establish a front in Morocco. However, this won't go very well because they're very scarce on troops. This is definitely being carried by Algeria. Because, but Mauritania and these two, they don't exactly have the military to even fight this. But Portugal is fighting back against Algeria. Tunisia has an army, I can't really say that. So yeah, it'll mostly be these two and also Italy helping. Now, I know France and Algeria are on the same side. Blame me all you want. It's a fictional scenario. I don't really care. The push into Morocco is actually going very well, as Portugal now takes back most of Morocco. But the parts they can't take back are these areas. But at this point, a new country will join the side on the red team, which will basically shift the war into a victory. Germany will join the side of the war on the UK and Portugal. Now, immediately, one country says no to this, and what country do you think that is? They've had beef with Germany for years, decades, millenniums, centuries probably. Portugal will join the war. But don't worry, because Germany will probably crush them anyway. And that's kind of what happens. German troops will enter into Portugal, Poland, and begin destroying the country. And quicker than you can see, Poland out the war. That was definitely not because I don't want to bother coming back over here. But Germany will now send troops into Alsace-Lorraine, and France is fighting a three-front war, so this is kind of going to end in, the end of France. With now a three-front war to worry about, we have a push being made to Paris, which goes very successful and Paris is captured. And at this point, Italy's like, okay, we're taking troops out of France. And France will fall over. But don't worry, Italy took Corsica. The front down here will start getting very, very, very bad, as Italy's now taking troops out of here to fight in their mainland. Oh my god, that took forever. So we have the complete kick out of Morocco, and at this point, Algeria is going to start getting invaded. And they lose about this much land before every single country that's in this war decides to leave around Algeria. So they all sign peace, and Algeria looks at them and says, really? And they surrender. I just realised I'm using the wrong colour. There we go. So with Italy just left in the war, they're going to sign for peace. They're not going to fight this. It's some of the strongest countries in the world versus them, so they're just going to sign for peace. And it's a red team victory. So surprising. Let's take a look at this peace treaty. So in the peace treaty, France is turned into Swiss cheese. Portugal took the rest of Spain. Catalonia united into Portugal, surprisingly. And Portugal took what they wanted from this war. The UK got this area over here. And Germany got Alsace-Lorraine, I hope I'm saying that right. And, oh god, yep, they've got their World War I borders back. Italy got out of the war, except from the fact they have to pay hundreds of thousands of war reparations. Same with these two. Same with Mauritania. But Algeria probably won't, because they might not last much longer. Portugal took a bunch of land from them, and even took some land from Mauritania, even though they surrendered and didn't even have land taken from them. Sorry, I didn't see, it's hard to see that over the red. I'm like, am I recording or not? But Portugal will do one final task as their empire, and that will be to invade and annex this country by here. I don't know, and honestly, I don't know why I put them on the map. They can just go for all I care. But that will do it for Portugal's empire. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.